Hey y'all. Ooh, sheesh. It's Wednesday. We'll wait and see who's here. Wait till my people come in the room. Look at y'all YouTubers. I didn't think y'all was gonna be here tonight. What's going on? Hey everybody. I guess none of this could wait. I told y'all I was gonna try to do a Wednesday since Mondays get passed by so fast. So um thank you to everybody that is here. And as always, if you have a question, please, by all means, drop them. Let me see. Hi, Jersey. Okay, hold on. Let me get to my gosh. All right. We got two things I want to talk about tonight, but other than that, y'all can drop whatever questions you want. And before anybody asks me, you can ask me about whatever. If I don't know the answer, then I don't. But if I do, I'm damn sure gonna talk about it, okay? Happy Wednesday to everyone. I hope you guys are doing good. Hey Tamara. I hope you guys are doing great. Again, I told you I was going to try to do Wednesday. I said I wasn't going to do it live on my Facebook or on YouTube, but I decided why not. Um, First thing first, if you have not been to my channel, welcome. Please hit the like button, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Make sure you share it with somebody. I promise I am somebody you want to know. And no, I'm not tooting my own horn. I just know it. Okay. So y'all been messaging me, goodness, and I appreciate that. Thank you. So my first order of business is okay. Well, Tamara already dropped the question. Okay, so let me get to that. Tamara wants to know: do we have to pay taxes on the forgiveness loans? So I'm assuming the forgiveness loans you are talking about are your student loans. If they're your student loans, no, you're not paying any taxes. If they're PDP, EIDL, any of those, EIDL wouldn't be forgiven. But any forgiveness loan, you do not have to pay taxes on. If you live in a state that has state taxes, the IRS tells you you need to check with your state, but I have not yet seen a state charge anybody for forgiveness loans. So my answer is going to be no. And I have yet to have anybody tell me or myself, I got some loans forgiven. I have not gotten notified that I have to pay anything. Okay. So again, y'all can drop questions, but my main thing that I want to talk about tonight is since you guys were so concerned and you guys were talking about Experience class action lawsuit. If you watch me on Mondays, and Mondays is my regular day, Mondays at 7 or 8 p.m., depending on where you are. I told you guys that yes, Experian is getting sued, but that doesn't mean that they're going to change anything as it pertains to how you dispute your credit. Okay. But this actually happened to me, and somebody messaged me about it tonight, and it just made me remember. Okay. If you guys don't know, and I really hate to have our information out amongst the masses of people, but the only way that you're going to know that somebody has your information is you're going to have to sign up for some of these programs in order to see. Okay. So if you guys have Experian, most of you, all of you have Experian, whether you want to or not, but if you actually have the app and you actually use it, I don't know how many of you actually look at your notifications. Okay. Experian is now, they have a company called ID Notify. Y'all probably never even heard of it, but ID Notify is a company that Experian partnered with basically to get you guys to sign up for a service to pay. Okay, remember these credit bureaus, they're not your friends. They do not work for you. Their main goal is to make money. So they basically take your data and funnel it back to you and find ways to charge you for something. No different than anybody else that's in business. But if you guys have a record, a criminal history, you should be one of the individuals that has the Experian app on your phone. even if you sign up for the free service or the $4.99 service, you guys need to start looking at your notifications, because Experian is starting to let people know that, hey, we have found your criminal history, and people are freaking out thinking that it is on their personal credit report. All right. Um, so, hey, almost everybody I know got some kind of background or something with somebody in law enforcement. Okay. So the reason I brought this up is because there are some people who have charges that are sealed that should not be. You can't find it when you go to your municipal court to search when you do a case search, but Experian is finding it. Okay. If you find out that that's happening to you, or if you're somebody with a criminal record, even if you don't have it sealed, and you're getting a notification that they found some information about you, you need to, one, go and verify that the information that they're pulling onto your consumer report, not your credit report, okay, to make sure it's correct. All right. Also, if you have a sealed charge, meaning you expunged it or you sealed it, and Experian is telling you that they have it, you also need to contact a few people, and I'll get into that to tell you what you, so I can tell you what you need to do to make sure that people aren't giving out information that should not be. So if a case is sealed, nothing about your personal history with that charge, crime, whatever, should be available to the public. That's the whole point of sealing it. Okay. Only certain individuals have the right to see that. And for example, if you were trying to get a job that required like a top secret clearance and they had to go deep diving into your history, those individuals would see it. But there is no reason why Experian and their company, and I have it up here, would or should, it's called ID Notify. They should not have your information, and they should not be sending you notifications that, well, they can send you a notification. Let me correct that. They can send you a notification that they found something in the municipal court records, so that you know that, hey, there's something on my record. If you're somebody that don't have a record and all of a sudden you're seeing something, you immediately need to get on that. Okay. So I'll put the number out a little later. I'm going to wait to see if y'all have any other questions about. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about ID Notify, but this is pretty big in my opinion, because basically they are taking your information that they get from public sources and they are sending it to you in a notification as a scare tactic to let you know that, hey, we found something about you. We see your social on the dark web, or some of those things to use against you to get you to take action, because they want you to pay for their service. Okay. Katisha, I don't know if you're the person that I just texted the other day. Send me, I texted somebody the other day, and I don't know if that was you or not, Katisha. So I apologize, but send me an email, shamikasaves@gmail, and I will email you tonight and give you my phone number, and then we can just talk in the morning. So I apologize. While my website was down, I was not getting any notifications of appointments. So I apologize. Definitely don't try to take nobody money and run, especially when I got to be back here every week. So if you don't mind, shamikasaves@gmail, send me an email, please, and I will message you back. Hey, Lisa. Okay, so basically, and again, I'm just checking to see if anybody on TikTok has dropped a question. If you have one, please do. Yes, we're doing this on a Monday, and we're going to try to do this on a Wednesday, because it's a whole lot of stuff to get out. But for right now, I just want to let you guys know about ID Notify. So I'm always telling you guys to request your reports, because you need to know what individuals are saying about you. Well, ID Notify has a report as well. And why aren't they telling y'all about it? Because they don't want y'all to know that there's more information going on around about you. So I am going to, hey, Lisa, thank you, girl. Look, I'm glad you texted that, because the funny part is I got a notification from Experian a month ago, and I looked at what they said it was on my record, and I said, wait a minute, this is not even supposed to be available to the public. It's a sealed charge. And I went and made a complaint with the Consumer Finance Bureau. Okay. So Lisa, I have a question for you. The individual that told you, are they seeing it on their actual personal credit report? Because they should not. Okay. If you guys did not know, there was a lawsuit back in 2016 against Experian, against all the credit bureaus, actually. And what they did was they stated, the government said, that you can no longer put tax liens, or any kind of judgment on an individual's credit report. The only public record that should be showing on your credit report is a bankruptcy only. Nothing else should show. Okay. They were sued. They can't do that. And yes, I got the list. So they basically said you can't do that anymore. So if there's anything else showing from your on your your personal credit report that's not a bankruptcy, it should not be there. Okay. So you all right. So if it's on their personal credit report, thank you for answering that. All right. So this Lisa over here actually texted me before this live, and she made me remember that I had to do the same thing. So I'm going to tell you what you got to do. And I will text you this number later, but I'll put this number out for everybody else. You will need to contact ID Notify. You will need to request your report. All right. So that you can see what else is being said about you. You also need to make a complaint to the Consumer Finance Bureau. And I even went a step further and made a complaint at through the Federal Trade Commission. I went through, both of the bureaus that are technically there to fight for consumers. All right. So you guys may start seeing things pop up on your credit report that has not. Okay. So if you do, those are the steps that you need to take. The Consumer Finance Bureau to make a complaint that is on your credit report. And I promise you, Experian will get back to you in less than 7 days. And you also need to go to Federal Trade Commission, ftc.gov, ftc.gov, and you can make a fraud complaint. And then also request your report from ID Notify so that you can see what they're saying about you. People are so inundated with everything else that's going on in this world that nobody's paying attention to how much of your personal information is being shopped around, sold, how much information is out there about you. Most of us only think about our social media and we don't think about anything else. Well, there's somebody tracking every single move that you make. And not only are they tracking it, they are putting it in a report. If you don't pull your reports annually, then shame on you. Don't complain later. Some of y'all don't know, but now you know. For those that are watching, now you know you have the right to request your reports. And let me tell you, there are a lot of them. All right. Thank you, Katisha. There are a lot. All right. I told you guys, LexisNexis has a report. CoreLogic has a report. Hell, Experian has rental reports. They got your background report. They got your credit report. I mean, there's so many that I can go down the list of, but these are the things that you guys need to be aware of, because you may find that the lack of oversight on your behalf will leave you looking crazy because you won't know that this information is out there. All right. And I do strongly suggest that everybody have Experian.com. I know people don't necessarily want to have Experian Boost. If you don't know what Experian Boost is, that is basically where you give them access to bank accounts. You might give them access to your utility companies. And in exchange for that, they boost your score. A lot of you probably already signed up for it. It's completely free. Now, do I like it? I remember doing a video on my YouTube channel that I did not like this at all. Okay. But the reason why I did it is because, hey, Kayla, I did it because I need to be connected with what's going on. If I didn't have Experian Boost, I would not have any idea that, hey, there may be a large transaction in my bank account. Oh, there's a fraud alert on my bank account, because some of us are not tuned in, we're not plugged in, and just one little app, one little gesture will tie you into your stuff. And unfortunately, since a lot of us don't remember to annually request our reports, when you get that notification from Experian and you scared because something is out there about you, you will then straighten up and go and do what you need to do. So let me see what Holly, let's see. Stride Boxer says this new Trump administration is cooking right now. He's busy. Oh yeah, I'm finna get to that next. I'm definitely finna get to Trump in just a second. But I wanted to talk about this because these are things that are pertaining to us individually. Now, when I talk about what's going on with Trump and all, and some of this stuff that may affect us people here, you know, that's everybody. But this here, what I'm talking about with your reports, this is you guys individually. You should want to request and know this stuff about yourself individually, because you know what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to get an apartment. You're not going to be able to get no job. Y'all already seeing that since Trump came in, these executive orders, there's so many things already being rolled back. So you think you're not getting a job because you black or because you female. No, you might not be getting a job because there's something reported in your history that you don't know about that you need to pay attention to. So that's very, very important. Okay. Holly says, ID Me, FTC, LexisNexis, also Fabco is a credit report for landlords. Yes. Thank you, Holly. Now, the unfortunate part is the ones for landlords, consumers cannot always request them. They don't always let you request these reports. Okay. ID Me definitely is, if you want ID Me, any information that ID Me would have, I would tell you guys the report that has the majority of the information about your life is LexisNexis. That is the number one report. Well, I ain't even gonna say number one. Your number one report is Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. We got to start at the credit reports. Then we can go down the line and we go to LexisNexis next. I will give you guys the information to, and remind me to send y'all the information to ID Notify. I'll put it up here later because I still got it open. But Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Finance Bureau, excuse me, they come out with a book annually that tells you every report that you can go and request. I get this book every single year because there are new companies forming, and then they become a new data analytic company, and now there's more companies sharing your information. And if something is out there is wrong about you, you don't want it to continue to be shared and be wrong. Okay, because if you lose a job and somebody else gets that job, guess what? That job is gone. It's gone to somebody else, and that job ain't coming back. Now, you might be able to sue and you might be able to make a complaint, but the job is gone. So in order to not miss these opportunities, we want to get in front of these things. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't like to get in front of things because they much rather live in the fake world than be paying attention to what's really going on. Okay. All right, so let me move on. And again, if y'all got any questions, drop them. So let me tell y'all real quick what's going on with IRS. This just happened from Monday to today. So the IRS is closed still. They're not open for business as far as tax season. But if you are one of those individuals that you got a pre-act loan, in other words, a cash advance before tax season open, the IRS is rejecting taxes if you missed anything. Okay. So if you, for example, did your taxes with your last pay stub and say you didn't have your 1095A, 1095B, that's the Obamacare form. So you don't have that. The IRS is rejecting your taxes now so that on the 27th, they're giving an opportunity to resubmit everything. But by the 27th, when they open, if it's not, you haven't corrected, it's just going to stay in reject status. So if any of you guys filed your taxes and did not have all the information when you filed them, you need to go back to your tax preparer and go, did my taxes get rejected? And give them the new updated. So when you get your W-2s, if you use your last pay stub and you now got a W-2, send that to your tax preparer. You got that Obamacare form, that 8962 is what the IRS will call it. That is the main reject reason that people returns are not going through, because you forget to get your Obamacare. Now, a lot of you tell me, I can't get it because I moved. Okay, that is not true. If you are waiting on your Obamacare form, I hate to call it that, but the 1095, or to the tax preparers who know it as 8962, you need to call healthcare.gov. Healthcare.gov. You just go right to the website. They have an 800 number on there. Call them and listen to me closely, because this is exactly what you need to tell them. I need the total from columns A, B, and C from my 1095. Okay. So if you moved, most of the time, healthcare.gov is not going to, they're not going to fax you one, and they're not going to mail you out another one. In most cases, they will not. So what you need to do is you'll need to call them and just ask for the totals, not all the line. If y'all have a 1095 form, the Obamacare form, you'll see it's every month. It'll show you how much they paid towards your health insurance. Okay. You don't care about the monthly amounts. All you care about is the totals in A, B, and C. All right. That makes a difference if your taxes will be reduced or if it's going to stay the same amount. If you don't put that in, you will not be able to file your taxes. And If you are a parent and you have dependents on your health insurance through Obamacare, please do not let your children file stating, because on the tax form, in the tax software, it will ask you if you had health insurance. Okay, if your dependent, listen to me closely, if the dependent is filing taxes, say you got a child that's in college or a child that works part-time while they're in college or whatever, okay, they need to select no, that they did not have health insurance. You, as the adult parent, okay, or the caretaker, the guardian, whomever, you, when you get to that question, you check yes, okay. If the student or dependent checks yes, then whatever, then they could get a refund that could be way higher than they're supposed to, because they are claiming the premium tax credit. All right. So please make sure that the only person that's claiming that health insurance, that 1095 form, is the parent, not the dependent. Okay. I did that one time by mistake because the taxes wouldn't go through. And this student, she ended up getting like a $4,000 or $5,000 check. Her mom was pissed off, and I learned a very expensive lesson. I learned that was incorrect. So the dependents always have to say no on the health insurance part, but the parent has to check yes, and you fill in those A, B, and C columns. Okay. So if y'all unclear about anything I said, please tell me so that I can repeat myself. Okay. And then I'm gonna get to you, Holly, in just a second. I'm gonna read what you wrote. All right. So that's very important. What I did, and yes, Mo, I said on Monday I was going to try to do Wednesdays, and I'm going to do it. And I knew with all this stuff going down with Trump, I knew it was going to cause me to be very busy, and y'all going to be hitting me with stuff. And so it's like, man, I ain't gonna be able to hold all this until Monday. So I'm going to try to throw some Wednesdays in there when I can. If not, Mondays is my main day, and I'll try to go back over it if I missed anything. But thank you for being here. Okay. All right. So Holly says it follows state to state. Okay, thank you. All right. So Holly says I work in evictions. You can submit your agreement made at court to try and remove it. Exactly. Thank you, Holly, because that's actually what I am working on. So Holly, let me ask you a question. So you say you work in evictions, and you say you can submit your agreement made at the court to try and remove it. Now, are you saying to remove it? Well, I'm not even going to guess. Remove it where, so that I can make sure that I say that out. Okay. And is what new? Okay. So yes, no, it's not new. Lisa says, how can you stop a garnishment once it starts? I wasn't notified, and it was through Jefferson Capital. Okay, Lisa. So, and this is, what's so funny? You are the second person that I talked to about a garnishment today. So let me just let y'all know. If you have a garnishment, that means you unfortunately failed to do something. That means you did not, one, have a good address on file, so that when you were served, or whomever was served, because whenever you're getting sued, somebody has to come and serve you. I know, because I used to be the one knocking on the door. Okay. So you should be getting served. So if your address, that means your address ain't correct. Then that means they also had a court date and you did not show up. If you are being sued in small claims court for an unpaid bill, a closed account charge off, whatever that is, and Navy Federal is on y'all, ASS. Okay, they are not playing. This is the second Navy Federal. I don't know if yours is Navy Federal, but this is the second Navy Federal I've gotten in about a week. All right, so Navy Federal is suing. I knew there were going to be some changes. They're going to change their credit card agreements. Now they want their money. Okay, that means that they went to court. You did not show up, and when you do not show up, the other team, the lawyer, the bank, whoever, credit card company, they win by default. Then the judge issues the garnishment order, okay? And all they need to do is submit that to where you work. It ain't that hard to find, most of y'all. Submit that where you work to your HR department, and now your HR department by law has to start taking money out of your check, okay? Now, so yep, from 2016. Now get this, Lisa, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so 23 is when it was supposed to fall off of your credit. But probably what happened in your case was whoever you bought that car from sold your debt to somebody else, which started the statute of limitations over. Because, and Lisa, I'm not sure what state are you in. Are you in Florida? But if there is two different statute of limitations, guys. Statute of limitations for debt collection and statute of limitations for debt reporting. Okay. The debt reporting is 7 years. That seems like that's the only statute of limitations you guys know about because nobody else talks about the other one. The other statute of limitations is based off of the state you live in, the state you opened up your debt, the state you signed that agreement in. That state has a time limit on how long you can have a bill unpaid that the creditor can come after you and sue. So what Navy Federal usually does, they wait a couple years and they're like, man, we ain't never going to get this money. So we're going to sell it to somebody else. They sold the debt to somebody else. The clock started all over again. And now those people know that they got 7 years to leave it on your credit. And I'm just going to give, for example, if you're in Florida. So if you're in Florida, that means it's 5 years to come after you. So the debt might be from 2016, but being that it came from Jefferson Capital, you got to look to see when Jefferson Capital got it. It probably was not in 2016. Now, if they got it in 2016 and they're suing you now, that's illegal because that's a time barred debt. Okay. After the 5 years, they can't sue you for it, but they sold it. And that's what a lot of companies are doing. So when I tell you that Navy Federal is on y'all AWS, I mean it. They know they are riding it out to like the 4th year. And then when they realize we ain't never going to get this money, we're going to sell it to somebody else. So at least they're making something off of you. And then now the clock starts over and now you could be sued again. Okay. So it's legal as long as they abide by the dates. Good evening, Gemini. Okay. So everybody needs to be aware of what your statute of limitations for debt collection is according to your state. Okay. I know it's 5 for Florida. I believe it's 5 or 6 years in Louisiana. I think Mississippi might be 3. It's 3, no more than 6. Okay. So you guys are in that range. You got to find your state to find out what number you abide by, because a lot of y'all may get sued sooner than somebody else. Okay. So somebody who has a 3-year statute of limitations, they'll be in court before somebody in Florida will because of the difference in time. So you definitely need to know that. Now, if it's not on your credit, it has to be, Lisa. If it's not, then we need to talk, but it has to be on your credit because they sold it to somebody. And if Jefferson Capital, they can't say that you owe a debt and can't prove it to you. So there is something called, they have to prove that it's a debt that you owe. Just taking you to court without giving you any notice that that you now have to pay them is illegal also. Okay. Now, a lot of these people are going to get away with stuff that they know that you don't pay enough attention to, and they sue. Okay. And they're going to come after you. So we could talk about it and I can see, but I can tell you a lot of these credit bureaus will probably get sued. But you know what's going to happen when they get sued? Nothing. They're just going to say, we're going to give everybody free credit monitoring, and that's it. So y'all make sure y'all hit that like button and share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And we go from there. Okay. So yes. So Holly. All right. So let me get back to you. So Holly's talking about she works in eviction and you can move it off your credit pro. Okay. So let me explain. Now I've been dealing with credit and for a very, very long time. All right. So this is what I tell everybody when you make an agreement to pay something. First of all, if you have a debt, right? And say we're going to use Navy Federal, for example. Say you owe Navy Federal $4,000. You don't pay it. Okay. It's charged off. They written it off the profit and loss. You have the right to contact them and work out a deal. Okay. Now, Navy Federal does not have to offer you any kind of deal because they are the original creditor and you made your original agreement for that loan, for that credit card, whatever, with them. Okay. So if you call and say, hey, I want to offer you $2,000 on this $4,000, they may look at you and go, we ain't taking it. And they have every right to. But once they sell it to a debt collector, Jefferson Capital, LVNB funded, Midland Credit, Portfolio Recovery, all of them, you don't owe them. So I know people say that all the time online, but I want to make sure I explain. You don't owe them because they are not the individual company that you went into an agreement with, which means you have more flexibility in making an offer to remove the debt than you would with the original creditor. That is see, most people don't explain that back end piece. Okay. So if it gets sold to, Midland funding or whatever, and it's $4,000, I'm not paying them $4,000. I may offer y'all 2,000. I may say, hey, I got 2,500. That's it. Okay. Now, now we're going to talk about the agreement part that Holly's talking about. When you enter into an agreement, here is another quiet piece of the message they don't tell you. That debt clock that I was talking about, the statute of limitations for credit reporting, the statute of limitations for debt collection starts over. So anybody that talks to me, I'll tell you, if you don't have the money to pay it in full, do not make an agreement, because the majority of you, y'all know life be lifing. And sometimes you in your mind, you think, man, I can pay them $100 a month. But 3 months from now, you might lose your job. What happens to that debt? The clock starts all over again. Okay. So no, they don't change the amount you owe. Okay. If you said, I'm gonna pay you 2,500, that's fine. They'll take it. They can put in their records the 2,500. But what does it say on your credit report? The same 4,000 that you owe them. Okay. So I don't like anybody to go into making these agreements to pay anybody until you have the money to pay it off. Money talks. Okay. So if you can tell, even if it was Navy Federal, hey, I don't have 4,000, but I got 3,500 right now. I can pay you right now. They'll take it. Even if it's $3,000 on a $4,000 debt, they will take it, because money talks. Okay. So I don't like people getting into that working out a payment plan, because most times the payment plan does not work, because lives. All right. Now, say you do pay it off. Say you say, Shamika, I got the 2,500, I paid it. And somebody said to me, well, isn't that pay for delete? No. People say that all the time online, but there is no real thing as pay for delete. It is not a real procedure. It's not a real process. That is something that you, the consumer, negotiates with them when you're negotiating the amount of money you're going to pay. Now, I can be working for a portfolio management or LVNV funded, and I can say, hey, yeah, give me that 2,500 and I'll take it off your credit. They don't have to. You know why? Because they didn't put it in writing. They'll take your money, but they don't have to take it off. Only thing you need to be worried about them doing is one or two things. You need to make sure that they're not leaving it as you hadn't paid it at all. And the only other thing you should be concerned with them doing is to make sure that they changed it from unpaid to paid then less than owed. They need to change the remark, the comment. Okay. And sometimes you can't see that comment. And another example of a comment would be consumer disagrees. Okay. That's not enough. They need to change to show that you paid it. So that $4,000 amount should not show. That should go away because you did pay. Now, you might have paid them less than you owed, but you did pay it. Once you pay, here's the beautiful part. If they don't remove it, I tell y'all, don't worry about it. Dispute it after it's paid. Then, by law, the credit bureaus have to immediately go back and say, this person said this is wrong. You know what they're going to do? They're not going to respond, and the credit bureaus have to delete it. All right? So I don't care if I paid and they don't update it, because I know that if it's not updated on its own in about 30 days, I'm just going to go ahead on the dispute and have it removed the natural way, because they're not going to reply. There's no sense in replying when y'all don't even have any business anymore. Some of them can, most of them do not, because they don't care about talking to you no more, because they already got their money. Okay. How many times can they sell? Debt collectors to sell as many times as they want to. I've seen people credit report that they've had things on there 3 and 4 times. It's the same debt. They just sold it to another company. And the unfortunate part, you know who's hurting? You, the consumer, because you didn't get in front of it, and they're just going to keep selling, because if you don't pay a debt, they still want to get paid for purchasing your debt. If you have we're going to go back to Navy Federal. You have a $4,000 credit card that you didn't pay with Navy Federal. You know how much they're going to offer Navy Federal to handle it for them? Probably $200, maybe $500. So Navy Federal is happy because they're getting something. Now Jefferson Capital or LVNB funding, whoever, they have it. They realize you're not responding to them either. They don't waste it $400 or $500. Now you know what they're gonna do? Sell it to somebody else that's gonna come and do the work. All they're doing is passing the baton to somebody else who wants to take on the challenge of trying to get you to pay. And if they can't get you to pay, they just hire a lawyer to sue you. Okay, so you can't really win. All you can do is, y'all know my favorite word, file bankruptcy, or you make a settlement to pay it, or you let it sit there until it can't, past the 7 years, and then it goes away. Completely your choice. To me, the last option is not an option for me at all, because I don't want to be stagnant credit wise for 7 years, and you guys don't need to be either. Okay. Yes, Lisa, please do, so we can talk. Okay. Any communication, that's you right. Holly says any communication with them starts the clock. This is why I don't tell you to call until you got some money to offer them, because unfortunately they will put you in a trap. All right. Now, if somebody has an eviction, and Holly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody has an eviction, okay, a female told me, she messaged me the other day, and she says I had to leave because of domestic violence. Okay, there's a couple things here. If you have an eviction, you're a victim of domestic violence, you need a police report. That police report is going to be your saving grace. Whether you're a man, female, cat, dog, it doesn't matter. Okay. First of all, and this is federal. All right. Federally, they do not like for landlords to lock you in to your lease if you are a victim of domestic violence for reasons of safety. So majority of the complexes or places will let you break your lease, but it varies by state if they're going to charge you for the prorated rent. So if you got jumped on the 15th, you either got to pay from the 1st to the 15th, or they're going to make you pay from the 15th to the end of the month, whichever one. Okay. But either way, they like to make you pay for the current amount of time you stayed at that place. But that police report gets you out of your lease. Okay. Right. Let me see. So Holly says, depending on the law in your state, Ohio landlords always trump salary. And you know what? So now what I do is, when I get someone that's arguing or fighting with me about breaking my lease because of, I go and make a complaint to the federal government. How you can send me a message and I will tell you who to contact, but I get the federal government involved because it's for safety. Okay. Most places will let you leave. I also read that you can challenge it in court with a judge and say, for my safety, I had to leave. Here's my police report, X, Y, and Z. And then let the judge make the determination if they will back the landlord and actually put the eviction on your credit report. Okay. Now, another thing, if you are a victim of domestic violence, you can also use that police report to get in and out of setting up utilities without having to make a security deposit. So, for example, you want to turn your electric on and they want $250 down. I'm a victim of domestic violence. Do y'all have any programs that prevent me from having to pay a deposit? A lot of places, a lot of utility companies will not charge you for it, as well as if you have to leave. So say you say, look, I got my incident report on file. The person found me, I have to leave again. You know, usually when you break or leave your apartment early and you want to turn off your electric, they make you pay a fee, early termination fee. That will also prevent you from getting an early termination fee. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I'm not telling folks, go out there and get jumped on or anything. But if you happen to be a victim, you do at least need to know that you do have some pearls in your bag that you can actually use to help you. The main thing you need to do is right here, pick up the phone, email customer service, one of the two before you even sign up, so you can find out which place is friendly or not. Now, I can tell you for sure, if you live in any government housing and you become a victim of domestic violence, nobody can reject. Okay, so if you are a person that's on Section 8 or you got one of those housing vouchers or whatever, and you're a victim of domestic violence, that police report, they have to abide by the federal rules and they have to let you out, and they cannot penalize you for it at all. Okay, so it does vary by state, unfortunately, but that if you're in government housing, that's everywhere. So they can't fight that, period, because the government's basically paying them, and the government is also the same one who wrote the rules that say they have to let you out. So they ain't gonna fight them. Okay. All right, look at that. I know that's right, Holly. I'm gonna have to get you on this live to come on here and talk, because I love when people can be on here talking. Okay, so usually it will go to collection after 30 days. Okay, so now I have in Florida, and when an individual doesn't pay their rent or they have to move out immediately, they immediately will let you go to the courthouse and challenge the landlord about it. I'm also a real estate agent. They will challenge it and say no. this is why I had to leave. This is my situation, and then the judge can make the determination. Sometimes you may have a nice landlord that might be understanding, that will back you and just say, we'll let you out. Just pay us this prorated amount of money. Okay. Holly says the important thing is to go to court. Don't get it dismissed and not a judgment. Then it goes to collections. Make sure to turn in the key. Please turn in the key. Turn in the key. And also stop leaving y'all places dirty and nasty, because a lot of people have stuff on their credit report from apartment that's not even an eviction. It's because you tore that place up and you didn't even clean it. What you think gonna happen? So come to find out, the more I talk to people, because I got to start asking questions. Some of y'all have these things in your credit. It ain't because you got evicted. It's because you didn't clean out the refrigerator, or you got a big stain on the carpet and you didn't try to clean it or change it, or something like that. And that is what you have to pay for. The courts do not get involved in that. Okay. They just help you with breaking that lease in the event that you have to, for your safety. And not only your safety, for the safety of everybody else around too. I mean, you guys, I don't know if you've seen, but you guys seen what happened today in Nashville. Okay. The 17-year-old boy, a cute little thing. And it's like, who is making you so mad that you had to come to school and you took and bam, these two people, and then you took yourself out? Right now, when people start seeing that, hey, this might be some violence involved, a lot of folks ain't gonna fight you too tough, because they don't want anybody else to get hurt. Because you know what happens if somebody else gets hurt on the property and and it's because of your boyfriend or your whatever, somebody's family is gonna sue. And nobody wants to be sued, and everybody is sue happy right now. So a lot of times I say, hey, for the safety of me, you, and everybody else around here, it will be in the best interest to let me go. Okay, some of y'all gotta be forceful sometimes. Okay, yes, Miss Holly, you gotta send me Shamika Saves at Gmail. Send me your number. I will definitely get you on this live to talk. Okay. It says Miss Holly says tenants get upset when they get an itemized letter of charges. Absolutely, because everybody thinks that security deposit they should get back, but they know good and well. Okay, good and well. I had a tenant do that to me one time in the house. I got videos and everything. It was ridiculously nasty. And they had the nerve to ask me for the security deposit back. And you know what I told them? You owe me money. As a matter of fact, you owe me more than what you paid. So you don't want to go down this road. If you want to, we can. And I got pictures, videos, and everything, receipts and all. You're going to end up being, the judge going to side with me, and you're going to have to pay me more money. So if I were you, I would just walk away with your tail tucked between your legs and keep it moving. Okay. But yes, it absolutely does happen. Mo says, what do you say about disputing paid collections? Can you dispute it on an app? Never dispute on an app. Never, ever. Did y'all hear that? Never dispute. Okay. It's a very small, fine print that says if you dispute online, that once it comes back as verified, you can no longer dispute it. Now, you can dispute it online all you want to, but you know what's going to happen? Nothing. The only thing that's going to happen is they're going to keep sending you reports saying verified. That is all. And have y'all noticed, if you have disputed online, even if you dispute through the mail, how many of you actually received a credit report? Because normally it used to be they'll send you something saying it's been verified, and then they'll send you the whole report. They don't even send y'all these reports no more. But if y'all was watching me on Monday, I showed y'all that big, gigantic report that I got, because I'm requesting mine. Okay. I need to see what y'all saying about me. Okay. But never dispute online for that very same reason. I hate when people say dispute online. The only thing that I would do online is my Consumer Finance Bureau, when I'm making a complaint through them, or when I'm making a complaint through the FTC, because they're going to send me a copy to my email. When you dispute through Experian, you don't even get a copy. You might get a case number, but you get it that one time. And they don't tell you that when you do it again, if the results don't come back the way you want, that the results are going to continue to come out the way that you don't want. So the best way to do anything is to do it in writing. And the reason why you do that is because you need a paper trail in case you have to go to court. All right. It's very important to have that. All right. So I never would tell you to dispute online. Anybody tells you to dispute online, don't listen to them. Okay. Don't, because you will not be successful. Now, sometimes some stuff might come off. You might get lucky, but if it comes back verified, accurate, they can't change anything, it will not change. The only thing you can do then after that is do it in writing. So you might as well do it in writing the first time. Thank you, Miss Holly. All right, Stride Boxer Podcast says, honestly, Shamika, unfortunately, most people are nasty and unclean. Now, you got that right. There are some real, nasty and unclean people out there. You are 100% correct. And those people, if they left their apartment nasty, they deserve every right to be charged every dollar that they can be charged. Okay. All right. So I got two other things, and then whatever y'all want to talk about is fine. One of them is individuals. They saying starting February 1st, Trump is going to impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico. And 30, okay, they're going to charge, starting February 1st, is going to impose a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. But what they left out, guys, is that they plan on charging a 30% tariff on China. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I love Temu. I love Amazon. Okay. I love getting my things from other places, even my knockoff bags. Okay. I love getting them and not paying a whole lot of money. But if they're going to start charging a 30%, even this 25%, please be mindful of how much that's going to cost you, the consumer. Okay. I seen somebody make a post that told all the females that if you guys wear wigs and weaves, y'all need to go ahead on and buy them now because the prices will be going up, and they will. Okay. So, and if y'all don't understand what tariffs mean, y'all please let me know so that I can make sure I explain that to y'all. But basically what they want to do, and thank you, Gemini, basically what they want to happen here in the United States is make everything American made, American owned, and we spend our money only in America. Okay. We haven't done that in ages. Okay. If we have done it years and years and years ago, back when probably horses were pulling cars and Ford first came out making these cars with the big wheels. Yeah, we probably was doing it, but you know why? Because there was only like one or two companies doing something. Now we have several companies. So let me explain how this will impact some of y'all. Some of y'all that want to get into a side business and you want to start selling clothes, you want to sell hair. So for the small guy, it's going to hurt you. Why? Because nobody's going to want to pay your price because of the price of the item itself that you have to pay. You also have to add in a percentage for you so that you can actually make money, which means nobody's going to be buying from you because you're going to be too high. Okay. Secondly, what that means is anything that your household buys that's not American made, and a lot of y'all can look around, almost nothing in your home is probably American made. It is now going to cost more. So that means your Amazons and your Walmarts, because Walmart's get stuff from overseas too, it's gonna go up. So now I'm not telling anybody that we made the wrong decision on who we put in the White House, because in my opinion, both of them are bad choices. That's just my own personal opinion, but we are here where we are. I just want to bring to your attention what to look out for. I said this on Monday, but things are going to start increasing. All right. And the majority of the things we get come from overseas. All right. So what can these countries do? And please, y'all give me y'all opinion, what y'all think about it. These companies can say we're going to raise the price, or we're just not going to ship anything, which means we will be forced to buy American-owned, American-made stuff, and that's cool. But I know, I've been around a little while. Some of y'all been around too. When people start seeing that they're the only ones that you can buy stuff from, what do? They get greedy and they raise the prices on you as well. So if we are only stuck to buy only American made products, you think those American companies are going to reward us Americans for only shopping with them? Hell no, they're not. What are they going to do? Raise their prices too. Okay. At least now we have competition in the market where somebody wants to try to be cheaper to beat out the Chinese. But most people know almost everything we have is made in China. Okay. Look in your shirts, look at the tags on your clothes. Okay, most of it is made in other places. And this, unfortunately, is going to sting and hurt a lot of people. So now I know February 1st ain't here yet, and we probably can't think of everything that we need. But I'm letting you know when this happens, please start expecting to see that things are going to be pricier, because they will be. Somebody has to pay for it. And guess what? It's us. We are the group of people who spend the most money. The people who are in business, they're spending it, but they get it from the money that they make from us spending it, because we are in more of a position of need. So I'm not seeing how this is a good thing at all. But if somebody wants to school me and educate me, I do not mind. I will definitely pass along the message as long as it makes sense. Okay. Shabrenda said, what's the best way to resolve regular evictions? And it's with collection. It's been over 5 years. Well, if it's an eviction for not paying rent, if you don't fall into any of those situations that we talked about, you said it's been over 5 years. That means that it's on your credit report with a debt collector. You first need to see if your statute of limitations is up. That's going to make your choice if you need to hurry up or you can chill. Okay. If because they can sue you too for not paying unpaid rent. They can easily sue you. If it's something that you can manage and it's essentially your fault, because people break leases all the time, you may want to see if you can settle. And Holly, please chime in if you'd like to. You can settle or see if you can make some type of agreement to get it removed. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all what I was telling people back during COVID time. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you. Now, when a person does an eviction on you, they first have to put it on you through the courthouse. Then from that, they can work with a data provider. That's not the right word. It's a data. Oh goodness. Anyway, a person that reports it on your credit. Okay, they will work with them to report it on your credit. Now, some people have it on their credit, but it's not at the courthouse. Weird. Some people have it on both. Some people have it on either or. What I was saying to folks is, I would tell them if it's at the courthouse but not on your credit, I would just tell them people that my landlord died. Because let me explain, and don't be laughing, okay? The person that put it on your credit, or that management company that put it on your credit, they also have to be the same people to remove it at the courthouse. So if your landlord put it on you, the only person that can remove it is the landlord, not their cousin, not the new management company, the landlord. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Holly. And so if it's not on your credit report, but it's at the courthouse, I would draft a letter and say, from the management company saying it's paid, but due to the fact that the old person passed away, that's why it's still showing up at the courthouse and you can't come off. Okay. Now, what I tell y'all is for entertainment and educational purposes only, but has it worked for a few of y'all? Absolutely. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault that they didn't report it to both places. So since they left you a little bit of gap, a little bit of room that you can come up with an excuse that could be believable to some, that is what I would tell you to do. Now, if yours is a little bit deeper than that, it's showing on both, we might have to talk offline, because I don't like y'all putting all your business out here. But that might be something that you could do to get it off. Because evictions are very hard. Evictions and repos are the two. Evictions, repos, late pays. The three hardest things to remove from your credit. Very, very difficult. Okay, look at that. Holly says, yep. So, all right. So I tell people, hey, tell them people your land. I had a consultation the other day, a husband and wife. They want to move into a place. And they said, well, it's only at the courthouse. It's not on the credit. I said, well, I guess you're going to draft a letter then and submit this to your new landlord and say, hey, and have the letter coming from the new management company, whoever took over after your landlord died, and say, hey, it's paid, but the person died, so it can't be removed, and keep it moving. All right. Most people don't even know about that, but now you guys know. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All right. It says, is it okay if a landlord is not charging me a deposit to move? Yeah, I mean, if a landlord doesn't want to charge you a deposit, that's cool, but I think that's risky on their behalf. But if they don't want to, they don't have to. You just have to make sure you read that lease to see, how they plan on collecting the money from you if there are any damages. If they don't charge you a deposit, that's a risk that they're taking. I think that's crazy, because you can go in there and damage their apartment and move out and they have no money to repair anything. But if they're nice enough to let you go, by all means, do it. Okay. That's right. Holly says, always read your lease. I'm telling you. Now, there might be certain sections I skip over. I skip over the pet part. All right, let me get to the meat and potatoes and stuff. When they start where they have part where there's dollar signs, that's definitely the part I'm reading, because I need to know about the money, and y'all need to as well. Okay. So please make sure you do that. And another thing too, I don't know if y'all seen this, but they're now doing, if you have pets and you live in an apartment, they're now making you either pay monthly, because a lot of people were doing this. Now they want you to pay monthly for a pet. You got to pay the deposit, the little security deposit, you got to pay monthly. And the only way you can get around it is if you have an emotional support animal or a service animal. But you got to get a letter or some type of proof, and it needs to come from someone, a counselor or whatever, who will be willing to write you one that they can verify. If you have someone that will verify that has a legal standing, that has some certification, some letters behind their name, then you can bring your pet and stay in a place, and you won't have to pay that monthly fee because that is a medical need. Okay, so some of y'all been wondering how y'all can move into these places with these animals. Boom, you welcome. Service animal or emotional support. Now you ain't gonna be able to buy that off of Amazon, okay? And you're probably not gonna be able to get a counselor who you can find online and make you a fake letter. So you're gonna have to just know somebody that knows that you've gone through something. Go to a counselor. You got PTSD, you got depression, you got postpartum, whatever it is. And if you need the template, okay, Health and Human Services has already come up with the template. All you got to do is fill in the blank. So if you need the template, send me a message at shamikasaves.com. I will send it to you. That way, all you got to do is take this to whomever, have them fill in your name. You can fill it out. Just have them sign it and verify if the people to call. All right. So you're welcome. Okay. Look, says Miss Holly says your doctor, counselor for each pet. That's right. For each one you got, all of it. I may have one pet that works with the top half. I got another pet that works with the bottom half of me. You never know. But somebody needs to be able to back you up and say that this is your animal and for what purpose. Okay. Gemini says everyone is going to have to be very mindful of their money. Oh, everybody is. We absolutely are going to have to be mindful. Okay. And the last thing I wanted to do was well, two more things. I don't know if y'all seen this, and I'm going to stay on top of this if this is true, but I just have to let y'all know. So they're saying that Trump is also looking at, now, two things. They're saying that he's looking at possibly abolishing the IRS. Now, you know, we've been talking about this for a long time. I don't think I believe that might be a street he may try to go down, but I do not believe he's going to be successful because veterans, we got people who are on Social Security, they rely on that money. Okay, that's what a lot of this money is. That's why it's called Medicare and Social Security. They've taken it to pay for those things. If that goes away, who's going to pay for it? I know. Y'all, still, they're just going to find another way to make you pay for it. So for some people who are all cheering, yeah, get rid of the IRS, ooh, that's cool. That's fine, but this is why nobody is going to have Social Security later when you get old. And these may be your families or the elderly people you know, or that y'all, or that a lot of you nurses who are working for these same people who get Social Security check. What's going to happen to your job if they abolish? Because who's going to be paying you to work? Okay, because that's what the insurance is getting paid from, is their Social Security, their benefits. Okay, those things matter. All right, so that's one thing they're looking at abolishing, which I think is crazy. Hold on, and I took there's some notes here real quick. All right. So this goes back to what I was just talking about with the tariffs. All right, if they remove these programs, this means that everything you buy is now going to go up even more so. Okay. So you guys may not be paying attention right now because people probably still so happy that he's in office, but already my wallet feels tighter, and y'all wallets are going to be feeling tighter too, on top of them already being tight right now. So we don't want him to come in and start abolishing things that are the status, that's been the status quo for a while, because y'all been comfortable living this way. Okay. When he makes these changes can follow you. Look, he was the president, 5 years ago, and we're still operating off his tax plan. So even though he's only going to be in here for 4 more years, and he's acting like he's going to be here for 20, when he leaves, he can still put things in effect that will still follow along through the next presidency. So please don't think that, oh, he just only in here for 4 years, and once he's gone, it's over. It don't work like that. Okay, not at all. Again, make y'all comments. And then I'm going to talk about this last thing. They are also looking at, if they can't abolish the IRS, what are they trying to do? You guys asked me about the child support, and if the women are going to be able to claim the child and to put the man on child support. That is not true. But what they are thinking about considering is removing head of household. Okay. When you do your taxes, a lot of y'all who have children, y'all file head of household. They're saying you're not head of household. You are just single. Okay. Now, if they do that, I want you guys to know that you will be in a deficit on your taxes. And if you don't believe me, when you go to your tax preparer, just have them put you in as single, even with kids. put you in as single, and look at the difference of your taxes if you get put in as single than versus being head of household. It's a big difference, okay? Some of y'all with head of household is the only thing that is saving you, okay? So they're not trying to get rid of the earned income tax credit. Let me make sure I'm clear. They are trying to get rid of the filing status of head of household. Why do we like for head of household? We like head of household because you get taxed on you don't get taxed on more of your money. When you're single, I believe it's 13,400 or something, and head of household is like 17,000, 18,000. Now, if they bring you down to that 13, that means anything you make over 13,000, they're gonna tax you on. Okay, so we don't want them to start removing things that have become complacent in our lives, because that's going to hurt a lot of you. Y'all notice I ain't talking to the rich people, because the rich people ain't, they are sleeping real good in their beds because they got enough money to do whatever they want, to go wherever they want to live. They don't have to be here. They got high paid lawyers, tax attorneys and accountants. We unfortunately do not. We are all we got. Okay. So this ain't got nothing to do with no race. This ain't got nothing to do with gender. This has everything to do with income level. All right. If you are not at that income level, you will be down here with the rest of us. Okay. So these are some of the things that they are looking to do. Okay. So I want to see what any questions that y'all may have, because it's been an hour already, but I just want y'all to see what any questions y'all have, so that I can try to answer them, as best as I can. Okay. So yes, we got to be mindful of our money. Usually says what to do if you let your credit cards go for months. Well, if you let your credit cards go for months, if you let them go for 6 months, you can't never use them again anyway. They are closed and charged off. The only thing you could do now is call the original creditor who you got them with, see if you can settle, or wait until they're sold to a debt collector, and then you can settle and pay less. Okay. um yes, stuff can be removed off your credit with the credit suite. Yes, they can. I won't lie and tell nobody that they cannot, but will they come back? It's a strong chance that they will. All right. Because they're not letting nobody get away with hardly any damn thing. Hell, you can't even have an eviction and expect to go get a car. I mean, an apartment. You can't have a repo and expect to get another car. And if you do, you're going to pay 23.99%. They are punishing you for every little oversight that you make. So if you let it go, your best bet is when you get back on your feet to try to correct the issue so that you can get rid of these things, because your credit is going to be with you forever. Okay. It is. Things go away after 7 years, but 7 years is a very long time. Very long time. Stride Boxing Podcast says, here in Vegas, Trump's ICE crew is already raiding schools as of today, checking birth records primarily in Latin areas. Absolutely. And if y'all did not see, he even said that it's okay to go in churches. Most people felt like they had some asylum by going in a church and hiding. They're not even allowing that. So, I was making a joke when I was saying there was no Taco Tuesday this week, but it's going to be crazy in a lot of places. So yes, they're going to be checking. And I even seen a video today that a girl, she turned somebody in, and a lot of people are turning folks in. They are turning people in. Okay. So I hope that some of y'all weed men is not over in the Spanish area, or your weed man ain't Spanish, because if you do, you might get caught up in the raid and you don't want to. Okay. Because people are getting paid $750 to turn folks in. I think it's crazy. They are making us infight within each other, but money talks, because some people are so broke here, not broke just in their pockets. They are broke here that they really don't even see that if they'll do it to them, they'll do it to you in some way, some form of fashion. Okay. They may not be able to deport her back to wherever she came from because she's here, but they can put her kids or somebody like that in jail. And it's the same thing. Okay. So yes, they are absolutely, ICE is absolutely making its rounds to come and get people. So y'all maintenance men might not be there. Y'all mechanics might not be there after this ice storm passes over in certain places. Okay. And I'm not trying to make a joke. This is very serious, but I do try to make it light so it's not so depressing. But this is the reality of which we live in right now. Okay. I keep telling myself 4 years and he gone. And then whoever comes in, hopefully they will undo a lot of stuff that he has already undone. Okay. Y'all already see that he's removed the equal employment opportunity. And I'm not saying that that it's fair, because I got white friends I love, white family, not family members, but white friends that I love. I do. But there would be no need for anybody to make a law about equal opportunity if there was equal opportunity. Okay. I seen a thread today, and if you're trying to get a job with the government, guess what they did again? When he was in office last time, he put a hiring freeze. You know what happened yesterday? Hiring freeze. So anybody trying to get on with the government, you'll find it very difficult. Now it might be certain fields like IT, because they want people to be all in your business, cybersecurity, but nursing, some of these regular management program analyst jobs, it is frozen. You will not be able to get a job. Why? Because they're trying to thin out the government. Okay, that's really what they're trying to do. They're trying to lean it out. That's why Ramaswamy and old boy from Twitter, Elon Musk, why they're trying to put this Doge office together, because basically they want to try to make the government lean and efficient. And I'm not saying that they don't waste money, because they do, but everybody wastes money. Okay. This isn't anything new, and letting a whole bunch of people go and making them come into office, that's not going to fix the problem. Not at all. If people aren't doing their job, they need to be let go. Okay. That's just plain and simple. But government employees know they can't get fired. Okay. But that's probably going to change too. Okay. Thank you, Miss Holly. Tamara says, how many years do you have to file a W-2? You need to file them within 3 years. After 3 years, you technically have missed your opportunity. The IRS doesn't mind if you wait 7 and file them, but what they do care about is if you wait and file your W-2 on year 4 and you do a refund, you ain't gonna get it. If you do it in year 5, you ain't gonna get it. So you got 3 years to claim a refund. You can file your taxes anytime you want to, but what they're gonna do is they're gonna hit you with late fees, penalties, and fines. So that refund you were gonna get, you now gotta pay them. Okay, so do not wait. I don't like people to wait and miss tax years. I don't know why, because IRS already knows you worked. They already got your tax documents. You are just not filing. They waiting for you to file. They already seen it. Okay. You're right. They can be fired. It is protocols, but it's not easy at all to fire a government employee. Not at all. It literally, depending on what it is, it could take an act of Congress. They cannot fire you that easy. Now, if you're on probationary period, absolutely. But after that, and you have the probationary period is over, it's very difficult. And please don't mention if you are a disabled vet and you got hired under one of those special programs. Very difficult to fire somebody from the government. Okay. But thank you, Crown Not on Tilt. Don't be typing to me in all caps. Okay. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that. You must be a government employee, but I like what you said, protocol, but people don't know what that means when you say that. That's why I explained it. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I do taxes, Teresa. You got a question for me? Let's see. Nikki Gray says the head of household is going to hurt. I'm telling you, if they remove that head of household, some people are going to be crying and screaming, because that is the only thing that helps put some money back in your pocket. You can still claim your dependents, but the thing is it's not saving you any money, because they're taxing you on more of your money. So it's not beneficial to you guys at all. Okay. Well, do not type in caps, because to me, Mr. Crown or Mrs. Crown Not on Tilt, it displays yelling. Okay. So lower caps. Thank you. All right. So I'm gonna see if y'all got any questions. We over the time at 8 o'clock. So I just wanted to bring y'all with some of this new stuff that was going. So I'm gonna run it back real quick. Oh, if y'all did not see, Instagram, Meta, Facebook, they're now offering y'all up to $5,000 to make these videos. Now they are making it super dumb easy. All you gotta make is 10 videos a month. Okay, and it needs to be spread out. But that's it, and they'll give you up to $5,000 a month. You have to have a minimum of 750 views. I just want y'all to know, please do not get fooled by these people who are now trying to get you guys to be content creators, because everybody is not a content creator. Just because you're making a post or you in the kitchen showing that you cooking, this does not make you a content creator. Now, to them, they're gonna make y'all feel like you are, because they're cutting you a check. But here's a couple things y'all need to keep in mind. If you plan on enrolling in these programs, you need to make sure that it is separate and is listed as a business versus with y'all personal income, because some of y'all gonna price yourself out the game. Some of y'all gonna be in here making video, making money, and then y'all gonna forget, oh crap, I'm on Section 8. Oh damn, I get food stamps, and you're gonna mess up and you're gonna lose your program. Okay, that's one. Two, So you want to separate your stuff if that's what you're going to do. Two, you need to be mindful, because once everybody starts becoming a content creator, that means more and more of you are going to be competing to who can say the craziest shit online. If y'all have not paid attention, at least in the last year since Facebook has been rolling out paying folks, people have been putting the craziest stuff online because they want engagement. Please do not think for a second that this engagement that they're asking you, or these posts they're asking you to make in videos, that they will not use this stuff against you at some point in time in the future. Because once you put it out there, it is out there. So I'm already looking at people doing wild stuff. You posting pictures, everybody posting porn, people over here. I mean, all kind of stuff just to get people to reply. So when people start doing at all followers and at highlight, I just ignore it, okay? Because one, I'm not finna support you in this mess that you're doing, because one, I know it's a trick, okay? Two, they're trying to move everybody away from TikTok, which I don't know why, because if you guys haven't, probably y'all don't even search on TikTok like that. But ever since TikTok went down that Saturday and came back up, there are certain keywords you can't even search. Those things are no longer allowed. It will say that there are no results. Okay. Now, I always tell you, the United States is going to be very much like China. And that's exactly how they are. They are under Chinese. The difference between us and them is the Chinese know what they can't do. Over here, we don't know that we can't do it until we try, and it can't be done. Okay. So please do, if you all want to sign up for these programs, that is fine. At least try to make something meaningful, because you do not want to come back later and find out that these things are going to be held and used against you, because that's exactly what they're going to do. They're basically getting y'all to put all your business out there, and they're paying you for it, because it's the easiest way to get people to tell on themselves, is to let them tell. Okay. So when y'all start seeing everybody posting fights, which they do, just posting all their business, you see why. And don't think that they don't monitor it. Experience said, and I just looked at it on the website today, on the same one I was telling y'all about, the ID. Hold on, let me get the name. The ID Notify. ID Notify, one of the things that they do is they search your social media. And according to whomever, the right party that's looking, they will send your information. So think you're going to be talking some crazy stuff and think you're going to have a good job. It's not going to work, okay? Censorship is censorship. Regardless of however they may try to do it, they are doing it. So be mindful if y'all going to sign up for any of these programs, okay? All right. So user said, yep, last year was a typo for head of household. It changed the amount. I'm telling you, it changes a big difference. So if they remove the head of household, a lot of ladies, a lot of women, because that's who mostly claims it, y'all going to be hurting. Crown Not Until says many are not doing taxes after 21 because of PPP and unemployment fraud. They are running scared. And that's unfortunate too. People should do their taxes even though. But you know what? I'm proud to say that after that PPP, I told y'all, I stayed with y'all and said, holler at me. Let's amend your taxes so you do not have to run scared from the government, because you know your taxes, what you submitted online to get that PPP, and what you actually told the government was not correct. I'd rather you owe the IRS and you make a payment plan than to have lied and get caught that you lied about your employees and how much income. Because y'all know, in order to get that $20,838, I believe that's the amount you had to put down, you made $99,000 or more. And in order to do that, you had to make a fake tax return. So if you amended your taxes, and at this point now it's too late because it's past the 3 years, you can't do it now. So now they can come after anybody they want and get them. What we talk about Monday, all those banks that loaned y'all that money, they have disappeared. Womply being the name one, we don't even see them no more. They done gave y'all the money. The government done fined them however many millions. A bank probably paid it. And guess what? They have now closed down and opened up with a new name, but some of y'all may find yourselves in trouble, okay? So not to scare nobody, but you're exactly right. That's why a lot of people are not filing, because they are scared. Just Kia says, will we be able to file our taxes this year and get a refund? It depends. It depends. Somebody sent me a W-2 today. It says she made $32,000. She has no dependents. She paid $1,200 in taxes. I didn't even touch it. I just simply texted her and said, you're gonna owe. I don't know what to tell you. You're single. Remember what I told y'all, single people, $13,400. Anything above that, that means she made 20 grand that they can tax her on. Even at 10%, which is probably her tax bracket, that she's going to be in is $2,000. She paid $1,300. She's going to owe. But if she was in head of household, okay, meaning she had a dependent, okay, it will move her to 17,000 that they could have taxed her on. She would have had to pay much less taxes, and that 1,200 that she had, she would get a refund. She ain't gonna get one now. So no, if you didn't pay enough in taxes, I always tell you, look at your income. Okay, this is just the easiest way to know. Look at your income and take 10%. If your W-2 say you made 44,000, just take 10%. It's, if you're a single person, the easiest way to do it is just 10%. If you're a person with dependents, you don't have to do 10% because your children, your earned income credit will cover whatever you short. But as a single person, the easiest way to do it, because the tax bracket is confusing. It's 10% taxed on your money up to a certain amount, and then over that it's 12%. Then after that it's 15%. It just keeps going all the way up to 38%. Okay, but some of us don't make that much money. We have to be taxed that much. So 10% is just the easiest number. You made 40,000. Take 10% of that, $4,000. If you don't have that, or at least close to it, you're probably gonna owe. That's just a rule of thumb of what I do when I ask somebody's taxes, especially when they're in the lower tax bracket. Okay. All right. Let me see. Well, Trump signed a law saying child support recipients can file the child if the payer is up to date. So I haven't seen that yet, Stride Boxing Podcast. So if you want to send that to me, because see, the problem is going to be is the state says something different, and 9 times out of 10, when something is headed at the federal government, they leave it to the states to make the determination. So if me and you were married and we got a divorce, and the child support agreement says we claim that child every other year, or I'm the one that gets to claim that child, that is going to be difficult to tell the IRS that because Trump signed an executive order, they have to change it. And this is what I'm saying. Especially when we talk about the IRS, they don't directly work for him like that. Okay. You know, yes, it's government, but they have their own set of rules. Okay. So when you look at what the state may say and that divorce decree, they usually do not get involved in that because they usually let the states handle it the way they choose. But if you got that, please send it. I have not seen that anywhere yet, that he is doing that. If they're up to date, I'm glad. Cool. I'm glad these men are up to date or women are up to date. Get your passports, because you may need to leave America. Okay. But I haven't seen that. Okay. Nikki the Great says, are you able to help restructure my business so I can put my LLC under a holding company? Do you mean under a corporation? If so, that is just a form, Nikki the Great. So send me an email or just go to my website, shamikasaves.com, and send me a message. I can send you the form. The form you will fill out to have your LLC treated like a corporation is like 5 lines you got to fill out. I don't even have to help you fill it out. I can send you the form. I'm sure you can fill it out yourself. But if it's any other restructuring that you need past that, yes, I can help you with that. Okay. All right. Ann Bell says, hi, Shamika. Shamika Saves fan. Hi. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. Thank you. She said she liked to share. I hope y'all did too. Mahalia, hey Mahalia. It says, even if you set up a business, isn't it tied to your social security number? No. Nope. If you set up a business legitimately, a corporation, it is all your businesses should be tied to your EIN, whether that's an LLC or a corporation. But what you are asking about is at tax time. When you set up a business, that's the main thing that I asked y'all about, is where y'all trying to have this money go? To you personally or separate from you personally? Okay. And so if you have a corporation, it's tied to your EIN only. Okay. Yes, that's why they're doing this BOI, because they want to know who does this business belong to? Is it you, your wife, your cousin? They want to know. That's why they were doing that BOI, but that's on hold right now. Okay. But if you have an LLC, you can still have an EIN, but when you file taxes on that money, it goes on your personal taxes. So that makes it tied to you. So when you set up a business, y'all need to make sure you are understanding why you chose an LLC versus why you chose a corporation. Okay, the S corp is just an S corp is just a designation of how you want to be taxed, but it has nothing to do with how or where you carry that money that you earn for the year. That's what's important. Oh, thank you, Zachary. I appreciate that. Oh, Zachary gave me a bump. That's so sweet. Thank you very much. I don't even be asking nobody to even send me any money, but I appreciate that, Zachary. Thank you. And I talked about y'all tonight too. Okay, so that's very important to know the difference of where the money needs to be carried. If you want to carry it under you, get an LLC. You want to carry it separately, you get a corporation. That way it's separate. That's very important because a lot of people don't do that. All right. Are they sending stimuluses to the ones who ain't received all three? I don't know. Sorry, Pretty D, but the stimulus days are past. Okay, you will always see emails saying IRS is sending out stimulus checks. Okay, the stimulus check that they talking about is your refund, and that's your refund for this year. The stimulus days are past and gone. You only got 3 years to collect from the IRS. Okay, and stimulus was 2020 and 21. We're in 25 now. So you definitely have passed 3 tax seasons. You can no longer claim your stimulus. And IRS was screaming, yelling, telling y'all to go and claim y'all money. And you know who the majority of people who didn't claim it? Those individuals sitting in jail, them individuals sitting in corrections, in prison. Okay, they did not claim their money, and they should have. Okay, the first stimulus they couldn't get, but the other ones they could. And unfortunately, they didn't get them. And the people who didn't file taxes, they didn't get them because you didn't file. So the system thought, hey, you might be dead. We ain't finna pay this person. They ain't filed taxes in 4 years. This is why you need to file. So when there is a stimulus, you can actually get paid. Okay. So no, you can't. Crown Not Until says, well, keys on the keyboard don't audibly speak. Well, these capital letters do. Okay. Pretty D says, can a landlord not charge a move-in deposit? I answered that already. They don't have to. I don't know if I would be a little nervous if they didn't. Okay. That was false news on that child support law. A guy on here made it up and went viral. Exactly. That's what I was. People came to me and I was like, that ain't true. People would be in an uproar if women were not able to claim their child for head of house. But see, this is where it gets separate. They're saying they're mixing up stuff. Now they are trying to remove head of household, but that has nothing to do with child support. They're trying to remove head of household because they feel like, well, if you ain't married, you are single. There's no sense of having head of household. And if y'all didn't know, there's 5 statuses: single, head of household, married, filing joint, married, filing separate, qualified widow. To me, if a person has died and they're a widow, you single. But they don't look at it that way. If you're head of household, you're not married, you single. That's how they're trying to look at it. So they didn't say anything for the qualified widow yet. That might be. But a qualified widow doesn't really get them anything, okay? So a qualified widow, they treat them the same as a person who is married, filing joint, okay? So you can file that for 2 years after your spouse dies if you have not remarried. So that does put a little extra money in your pocket, okay? But that's it. How do you offset your taxes? All right, hold on. Let me go back real quick. Do you explain the new child support laws? Okay, that child support law. Now I have the Project 2025 that has not come through yet. I don't believe they're going to get far with that child support thing. We will see. Now they have done some things like that in Florida, but we don't talk about that too much. But I can tell you right now, in Florida, if you try to divorce somebody and you were and they were paying you alimony, people used to be able to claim that alimony. And if you got divorced for a certain time, you didn't have to report that alimony money as income. Well, they didn't change it in certain states. Now you have to claim it as income. So they are definitely coming for people because the men are upset. And at least in Florida, they're upset. And now you got to claim that money. Whereas people were getting pocketed all that money and didn't have to do nothing about it. Okay. It says, are they sending? Okay. All right. I read that one. Let me see. Okay. It says, what about claiming my son? He's 21. How can level it for me? If your son is 21, if he's in college, you are able to claim him as a dependent, or if he's disabled. But if he's just 21 and he's not in school and he's just living with you, you technically can't claim him as a dependent because he's not in school. Okay. Once he's 18, they consider him to be grown. Mentally, they're not, but they consider them to be grown. So the easiest thing to do is tell them to enroll in school so that you'll be able to continue claiming them for a little bit and you can still use your head of household. Okay. Let me see. Can you dissolve a business and reopen an LLC? You could dissolve a business, yes, but your state may not let you dissolve a business and reopen the same name. There has to be 12 months in between. You can, between the time the name shut down before somebody else opens it up. So if you want to dissolve your business, you could tell them, you could just let it close. You have to report to the IRS that you're no longer using that EIN. But if you're going to reopen a business, you can call the IRS and they will change the name for the EIN to whatever new business you have. They are basically recycling EINs now. You know why? Because people using them, stealing them, making CPNs out of them. So now they're not even issuing a lot of these new EINs. They want you to call them so they can change the name and basically you recycle that EIN. And it's also a smart way to keep track of all the money your businesses have been making and all attributed to you. Okay, I read that one. Okay. I'm just trying to see because y'all know I'm trying not to miss anybody. Disabled, single. I haven't been filing. If you're disabled, somebody hopefully should be claiming you because a disabled person usually does not make enough money, especially if you're uh on if you're on Social Security disability. I'm sure that check is not a lot. Somebody probably should be claiming you, but we could talk about that. Hamilton Marie P. Send me a message at shamikasaves.com. I don't like to go through everything here because some of this stuff I can't be saying to everybody, okay? And usually you say he's not in college, then you can technically not claim him. If he has a job, just let him file his own self and get his own refund, okay? All right, so I think I got everybody. Okay, I did. I think I got everybody. And thank y'all for y'all messages and all this. And I was curious how this Wednesday was gonna turn out, but you know, it turned out pretty good. So again, I'm gonna just recap real quick. We talked about that new company with experience. Some of y'all need to start pulling y'all need to download that Experian, use Experian Boost so that you can at least get the notification so that you can see if anything, because some of y'all do have criminal records, and no passing, no judgment. We listen and we don't judge, but y'all need to know if something is showing up about you that's not true, or if you have a charge that's sealed, it should not be showing anymore. So if y'all need that number to ID notify, I will send it. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me get this number. I want somebody to write this in TikTok for me, okay? I want y'all to request your ID notify report because I'm going to request mine tomorrow because this is a new one for me. Okay, so this is a new report. So let me hold on. Okay, it says you can call, and I'm gonna put it in here on YouTube, 888-883-1852. So 888-883-1852. And this is the number to ID notify. You can call that number and request a report. Y'all at least owe it to yourselves to see what they're saying about you. Half the time, if somebody gossiping about you, you want to know. So I look at this as gossip, okay? So if they got something on me in writing, I want to know, I want to see, and you guys should too. So that's ID notify 888-883-1852. Okay, and we talked the rest of the stuff about Trump and what's going down and what could possibly be going down. So please, very much so, watch y'all pockets. I'm gonna try to get Miss Holly on here to talk to y'all about these evictions, since she works with evictions, so y'all can ask her these questions. And again, if y'all got any questions for me, please send me a message, shamikasaves@gmail.com, or go to my website, shamikasaves.com, and just drop me a message, and we will chat. Okay, so I will see you guys on Monday. We definitely gonna be talking about some bankruptcy stuff because more places are closing. Okay, but we ain't getting into that tonight. All right, so y'all have a blessed one. See you guys on Monday, 7 p.m. Central or 8 p.m. your any other time. And I'll just talk to y'all later. Okay, have a good one. Bye. Oh, and before I forget, please, if you filed with your last check, if you filed with your last pay stub, go back to your tax preparer and make sure you give them the W-2. And for those of you who did not get your Obamacare form, I just thought about it. If you don't get your Obamacare form and you need it, healthcare.gov, healthcare.gov. All you need to do is call them and say, can I have the totals from columns A, B, and C on my 1095 form? Okay, they will not refax you a new form. They will not remail you a form. The girls who you talk to have the stankest attitudes ever. But if you come to them and you say the right thing, they'll easily give you those numbers. So please call healthcare.gov, call them with a pencil and piece of paper, and ask them for columns A, B, and C, the totals, so that you can give that to your tax person if you did not get your 1095 form. Okay? All right. See y'all. Bye.